Another episode of Unscripted Emerge and Thrive. And on today's episode, we have our guest Takuya Kitzawa. How are you, Takuya?
Good. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. First of all, people have to know you. Tell us your bio.
Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Takuya Kitzawa, and I'm an ICT advisor working at Muzu eHub. And as we wear the same T-shirt here, I'm more on the hosting side of this podcast series, but as a external volunteer staff coming from Canada, I'm here, and I'm from Canada through WUSC, which is a partner organization of Muzuzu eHub and also sponsor of this podcast series. So now I'm here to talk about my volunteering experience and a little bit more about my background and observations here in Malawi within the context of youth in Malawi.
Yeah. So, how long have you been here in Malawi?
It's been a year since my assignment has started.
Uh-huh. And you're working with Mzuzu Hub.
Yes, working with you guys, and I'm very excited continuing this collaboration because so far the experience was really fruitful, and I learned, I got a lot of insights and learnings and experiences, and it's completely new and different from what I used to experience back in Canada. So
Okay, what were some of the things that struck you like they were really different from how maybe people used to work outside Malawi or I don't know, our work ethics, something like that?
well, it's not specific to Malawi, but any country or any location has some difference and uniqueness in terms of working culture, lifestyle. So we can't summarize in a short passage, but definitely the life in Malawi is different compared to back in Canada in terms of economy and population. Uh, Especially in Malawi, more than half of population are age under 18 and 80% of population are living in rural areas, which is basically in a completely different shape compared to Canada. And wealthy nations are having more like elderly population and how to sustain these economies is a big challenge. But here in Malawi, we have a lot more youth and younger generations, so which indicates huge potential to grow as an economy and not specific to the technology which I'm working on. So I see a lot of potential, but right now, at the same time, since we are in a developing nations, we have a lot of immediate challenges. So how we can turn these challenges into opportunities is a big challenge and a big question that we are facing. And of course, I've been here for a year and working on multiple tasks, assignment, and projects. And but obviously, me myself also do not have any like particular answer for this question. But yeah, that observation is kind of what that situation is kind of unique based on what I experienced here in Malawi.
All right. So you came to Mzuzu Hub through WUSC as a volunteer, right? How long have you been volunteering?
Well, actually, this is my very first volunteer experience in the proper sense. Of course, I did work on some like my neighborhood weed pulling activities or donating blood. So if we can call it as volunteer, maybe my volunteer journey a little longer. But I've never worked on any proper volunteer assignment, especially international. So yeah, this is my very first one. So my volunteer journey has started at the very same timing as my volunteer assignment for Muzuzu Hub has started. So which is 1 year so far.
All right. But what career are you into? Are you like a tech person, like a, you know?
Yeah. So as my job title ICT advisor indicates, I'm working in tech and officially I'm a Canada-based self-employed business owner. So I'm freelancer and software engineer, and I've been working in tech for the last decade, and working from web application, mobile application to AI, and some other advanced functionalities and software product across the globe. and I originally from Japan, and I graduated from university in Japan with a master's degree in computer science, and I studied personalization and AI applications, and I worked for Silicon Valley-based startup company. They're branching in Japan, and then I relocated to Canada, and I kept working in tech for the last decade, basically. So I've been working in the industry for the last 10 years in tech as an engineer, and now, based on the experience, I had some couple observations that shape my current way of understanding of the tech and the world. And yeah, recently I decided to give a shot as a in working in tech through volunteering, and that's why I decided to apply for volunteer position here in Rehab, and came from Canada to work in tech, but not as a industry expert. Well, I'm an industry expert, but not as a like a full-time employee, and but it's more like volunteer stuff.
For the tech landscape in Malawi, are we doing are we doing good or could we do better?
Well, I think the first impression of Malawi was like, well, it's better than I expected. I would say, well, better quote unquote. But well, even in Malawi, in terms of GDP, it's still very low compared to the other countries across the globe. But we at least have access to mobile network, and in the big cities, people have smartphones and mobile payment like Airtel Money or Tianwen Pamba are widely available, and people are using it daily, which is very much advanced, I would say. And I didn't expect that kind of active use or daily use of technology before I come to Malawi, so which is good. But at the same time, I think one of the biggest challenges the nation is facing right now is in literacy. So the technology is coming anyway, no matter how serious you are investing in this industry, because yeah, tech is everywhere. So even if you are reactive, you have to adapt to tech anyway. But literacy education is not fully catching up in the current, especially education system here in Malawi, and also a lot of business activities Malawian businesses or international organizations are conducting. So they are bringing tech and they are trying to optimize our life for the use of technology, but how to use tech in a good way and ethical way, and what's the good use of technology and what's the bad use of technology, that kind of discussion is rarely made at this moment, and that's something what I'm really concerning. And Malawi as a nation can do better, in my personal opinion, because back in Canada or Western nations, the thing we see lately is, for example, the children started using social media no matter how what kind of education the school provides, and they start using WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, X now, and but they didn't get proper education about how to use this technology in the right way, and eventually they are suffered from some sort of like a mental health issue or some like a communication challenges in the real life, and that kind of thing happening, and even like a recent trend in AI. If you don't know how to use AI in the proper way, then many people can easily use AI for whatever activities they want to do, but they might bring some like inaccurate information or false information that AI has generated unknowingly. And that leads us to a serious problem that put us to in a difficult situation. So without having proper literacy education, the use of technology can bring nothing positive, if not harmful for our day-to-day life. And that's something largely missing, especially here in Malawi. And so that's something, yeah, we can definitely collectively focus on.
All right. Yeah, you talked about social media, how it's being used by Malawian youth. Oh, what are some of the productive ways of using it? Because yeah, in Malawi, I think most of the social media is used for like, expressing yourself, just saying what's on your mind, just say whatever,
Mhm.
quote unquote. It's not really like a lot of the young people are not using it like productively. They're just using it as for fun, for to say what's on their mind, without maybe even without thinking about the consequences. What's the right way of using social media?
Yeah, I think there are two discussions here. So one is the right way to use social media,
Mm,
and social media it's on the internet,
mm,
and whatever you post on social media, it can be available across the globe, borderless. So if you post something on X, for example,
mm,
it can be seen by literally everybody across the globe, even from the outside of this planet. So that's
mm.
possible because of the internet. Internet is connected. So you have to be careful what to post on social media, and it's very difficult to delete what you said. And also, you have to be careful about privacy and security implications. For example, if you post your phone number on social media, where everybody can see your phone number, and that phone number can be misused for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Or if you are not fully aware of security standard, the social media can be the entry point where your security can be threatened. So your personal information, or bank account information, or financial status can be taken by whatever third-party organization. So that's something we have to be careful by nature. But at the same time, that indicates the huge potential that social media has because social media connects us to the global economy and the population. First thing first, we have to understand or define the audiences we are talking about.
Mm,
So even in a business context, we can't sell our product to everybody. So we have to define who are the customers we are talking about. And even for the customers, let's say Malawians, well, it's too big. So Malawian youth, okay, it's a narrower scope, but still, youth is huge, and Malawi is a big country. Well,
mm.
small compared to the other nations, but still, we have
Yeah.
massive amount of lands. So we have to really crystallize what kind of target audiences we are talking about, either business or communications. So first thing first, if you want to utilize social media for whatever activities you are thinking about, maybe you want to be an influencer, you want to advertise your business, think about who are the audiences you want to reach. And it shouldn't be like everybody across the globe. Of course, internet is connected, so everyone can be within the reach. But the more strategic your message becomes, the better reach and acquisition, the audience acquisition we can expect. So we really have to think about who are the audiences and define the target you're talking about and try to reach through social media. So maybe if you want to acquire some external grant from international organizations, research what kind of communications or messages these organizations are looking for. And you have to optimize your message and branding to the expectations that audiences are setting. And it's a strategic decision, and you have to think about who are the audiences and what you can deliver, and you have to make an alignment based on that definition and through the strategic design of your message.
All right. Let's talk about a little bit of tech apps, websites.
Mhm.
A lot of young people would also want to go into those fields, like develop websites. And of course, there are schools out there that teach those things. But maybe let me just ask, how difficult is it to learn web development, for example?
Well, web development itself is a big domain,
Uh-huh.
and starting from like a basic website
Uh,
up to full-fledged web application, where you can sign up, users can sign up and register their account and do some transactions. So there are different complexity when it comes to web development. But I would say if you want to just create your personal website, which doesn't move that much, just have some personal information. I mean, sorry, like a
mm,
personal background and experience, more like a resume type of portfolio type of application. It should be straightforward, and especially in the era of internet, you can get access to the abundance of online resources. So just type what you're looking for online, Google or ChatGPT, asking like, I want to learn website development. So where should I start? What kind of technology is available? And there are a lot of e-learning content and materials where you can learn the basics. So the basic, it should be relatively straightforward as long as you can have access to internet and have some basic computer literacy, how to use it.
Okay.
But if you want to do some like conduct online business through website, which is much more dynamic and requires some advanced functionalities, it can be a little bit more complicated, but still some online resources are available to catch up these topics.
All right. So someone can learn website designing or basics of app developing just on a laptop and the internet.
Yeah, it is definitely possible. But my recommendation is to learn with a clear intention why you are learning this and what kind of output you want to create after learning through these basics. Because I'm personally doing some mentorship service online as well. So I have some mentees outside of Malawi and trying to help their career development and skill development. And many people say, hey, I have to study this technology and develop my portfolio. So usually the technology comes first when they talk about studying some new skills. But it's very difficult because the technology is just technology, it's a tool. So it's important for you to think about how to use this technology for whatever variable that you're thinking about. So my recommendation is to start from problem or ultimate objective you want to achieve through the technology. So don't say like, hey, website or AI is the thing. So let me just first study AI and let's think about what we can do afterward.
Oh yeah,
We have to flip the order.
like what do you want to create?
Exactly.
And then to try now using tech to create what you want.
Exactly. So why do you want a website, for example? And maybe you have your own business, so you want to advertise your business through a website. So that's why you need a website. Okay, that's good. So who are the audiences? Again, coming back to the audience question, who are we talking about when it comes to website-based marketing? And those answering these questions helps us to crystallize your motivation to learn the technology and also identify the best online course or online resources which provide the right set of technology that you can benefit to achieve the goal. Otherwise, there are huge amount of information to study a single same topic. So if you search, like I said, it's easy to find the resources online if you type some questions on Google or ChatGPT. But in fact, there are too much, the abundance of online resources. So you really have to be intentional about what you want to study about for what. And always accompany the studying experience with some project or your real life experience. So learning website, that's good. But while learning, you actually have to create your own website along the way. It's not just about reading textbook and trying to make some sample website, which is not real for you. So it has to be authentic and it starts from what you're actually thinking about in your mind, which is intrinsic motivation.
All right. Okay, now let's talk about AI a little bit. You know, there is kind of like a misconception because the way AI is and the way I kind of uh, hear about what people are talking about AI outside the country on the internet, they say it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. It can automate things, your processes. But when it comes to the context of Malawi, when you use AI, even though we don't know how to use it fully, but when you use AI or you just mention AI, there is like a misconception about it. Like, oh, why are you using AI? You should, they should come from your head or something. Oh, how would you comment on that?
Well, it's a challenging question, and even not only in Malawi, but anywhere across the globe, people are talking about our job will be taken by AI and things like that.
Yeah.
But no matter what, technology is there. And like I talked earlier in the context of like a use of technology in Malawi, no matter how proactive or reactive you are, just the wave of technology is just coming. So the technology is there. So we have to just adapt our way of working and thinking to that technology anyway. Otherwise, you can't move. And so, and again, technology is just a tool. So AI, that's a nice technology that enriches our capability to think and come up with some ideas. So wherever applicable, it's definitely possible to use AI, and it makes our work more efficient, and we can spend our time to something more, authentic and important, which can only be done by human capabilities. So AI is a tool again, and it enriches our capability, and it's still there. It's already there, I mean. And so I think rather than thinking about should we use AI or should we not use AI, or AI will be taking our job or not, well, it's an important ethical and philosophical discussion, so we can continue about it. But for the practical reasons, it's more, to me, it's more important to think about how to use AI and when to use AI. So what's the right way to use AI, or when is the right timing to use AI? What's the right task to use AI, and vice versa. There are things we should not use AI because of the, for example, security or privacy reasons. Of course, also technology comes with cost. So if you don't have money, then you may not be able to use full-fledged AI capabilities. So that also like a practical restrictions. So there are a lot of variables we can think about. But these like a practical discussion, should we use AI or not? Rather than that, we have to think about how to use AI, or how can we leverage AI, and what's not. So those discussions would be more important in my personal opinion.
Okay. I think we have exhausted take questions now. Have you gone sightseeing in Malawi?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to travel, yeah, some of the districts in Malawi, and especially through the work with Mrs. Rehab,
Yeah.
I luckily had some interactions with some of our trainees where we teach digital skills, and we are operating in Lumpi, and so we went there, and also we used to operate in Kalonga, so I had a chance to visit there and interact with some of the youth in the district, and obviously Lilongwe and Katabe. So this is like a popular district.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had opportunity to visit.
Did you visit like Molange Mountain?
I wish I could, but because of the local transport and some uncertainty and yeah, time constraints, I still couldn't.
All right.
Still on my bucket list.
Okay. All right. I think we should end this interview there. I
Okay.
think we've talked about some important things someone would take take home something from this conversation, but maybe just one way if you want to on take, if you want, if there's something you'd really want people to know about take or something.
Yeah. So again, technology is there and
Yeah.
it's evolving out of our control.
Mm.
So it's just evolving. So it's important for each of us to think about how to use this technology and what it means to our life or personal connections or community or business, whatever it is. So it's up to us how to use technology. And it's important for us, for example, who are living in Malawi in this particular environment, to think about technology in the Malawi context. So because, for example, it's easy to talk about AI, blockchain, but on the other hand, here in Malawi, internet penetration is still a challenge. So not everyone has access to the internet. So even if you as a Malawian business owner has created some fancy website type of application, maybe majority of Malawians do not have access to your applications, which is a misalignment.